Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high-quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world.
Hello friends, and welcome to Nature Wander. I'm Paul, your host, and I'd like to say one thing to you right off the bat. Take a hike. No, just kidding. Not really, but we've taken that saying, take a hike, as an insult, like, get out of here. You know, I love it nowadays when someone says, hey, take a hike. I'm like, okay, I will. Because I love hiking. I wanted to wish you a happy Take a Hike Day. Yeah. National Take a Hike Day this year is on Sunday, November 17th, this coming Sunday. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about National Take a Hike Day. Yeah, I know we've taken that saying as an insult now to get out of here, but now we should take it as a compliment. It's like, oh, you want me to get out and get some exercise? No. So why do we have a National Take a Hike Day? You may be wondering. You probably never even heard of it, but it's usually the beginning of November, and there's a lot of information out there that doesn't conclusively say where it came from. Some say it's from the National Society of Hiking invented it. Others are from, that it was invented by other organizations. And someone just said, hey, it was the national calendar, whatever it's called, the online calendar of days that just made it up so that they could get people outdoors. And that is the purpose. It doesn't really matter who came up with the idea, where it came from, who was the first one to come up to basically promote Take a Hike Day. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is the purpose of it. The purpose of Take a Hike Day, National Take a Hike Day, is basically to get people outdoors hiking. Yeah, for exercise, for enjoyment, to explore new places. So it's a day of getting outdoors and hiking. So I want to encourage you to do that this Sunday. I mean, I encourage you to do it every day, but this Sunday is National Take a Hike Day, so I encourage you to get outdoors, bring some friends along, get more people involved, and just find a new trail maybe. Find an old trail that's a favorite that you haven't been on in a while. Go somewhere where you enjoy going every single weekend. Doesn't really matter, but get out there and hike and bring some friends along. We're going to kind of explore a little bit about hiking and why people go hiking and what the purpose of hiking, where it came from, the history of hiking, and we're going to explore all of that fun stuff today. So grab a hiking stick and get out in the woods and enjoy listening. So welcome to National Take a Hike Day this Sunday, the 17th of November. And I want to talk a little bit about the history of taking a hike. Like I said, the actual National Take a Hike Day, well, there's varying information out there as to where it came from. Once again, I really don't care where it came from. There are some hiking societies that do promote it a lot. There's the National Day Calendar online that promotes it. There's, a lot of different hiking clubs, locally, national, that promote Take a Hike Day. And so it's a good thing that it is out there. And so I get the feeling that because so many different organizations are promoting it, that it will be out there a long time. It will be a national day for a long time to come. But where'd this whole idea of hiking come from? Instead of just taking a walk that's what people did. They took walks in the woods. Many years ago, before we had cars, before we had, good means of transportation, in order for you to get from one place to another, what would you do? You would walk there. Yeah. So trails were made to make it easier and quicker to get from point A to point B, and therefore, people would have trail systems. So in many societies, walking on trails were what you do to get from one place to another. Paths were just a part of life. Hiking on the path, going from point A to point B. You got to get somewhere. How are you going to do it? You take a trail. Now, some of these trails eventually did turn into roads for buggies, horse and buggy, and then, of course, as the automobile came along, they made the roads bigger and paved them eventually. But yeah, eventually they're all just hiking trails going from point A to point B. You walked there. And why were people going from point A to point B? Well, trading, going on pilgrimages, migrating. Yeah, it gets too cold. We're headed south. We're going to someplace where we can plant crops year-round. And so all of these reasons were why people were trying to get from point A to point B. Now, there is one story in all my research that came up about how the poet Petrarch, and I hope I said that right, but he was the one who originated actual hiking, because hiking is more for enjoyment, not necessarily to get from one point to another, except to enjoy getting from that point to another. But they say that this poet, Petrarch, was the one from the 14th century. He was the one in 1336. He actually climbed Mount Ventoux in France with his brother and their servants. And they did it just for recreation, just to enjoy the view and the nature, rather than out of necessity. And that was the very first hike. At least that's what a lot of the stories say is the origin of actual hiking. Because hiking is more about the enjoyment, the relaxation, the, exploring nature, just to be out in nature, just to get to a place with a great overlook. That's what the difference is between hiking and walking to get someplace where, you need to be. So, like I said, that's just the story that kept popping up all over the place about the first actual hike. Now, of course, over time, people began to appreciate nature more, want to get out in nature more, want to be in nature, with nature, the Romantic era, the 18th, 19th centuries. Then you had people like Wadsworth, Thoreau, all of these naturalists. They started bringing people's attention to nature, and people wanted to get out in nature more. And that's why they started walking and hiking more in nature, just for enjoyment. So instead of just using these trails to get from point A to point B, it was more to stop and explore the natural world around them. So it became more of a way to, basically connect with nature, reflect, and escape from urban life. So get outdoors. Now, as the idea of recreational hiking became popular, mostly in the 19th century, this popularity of hiking started to grow more and more. So did the creation of trails. Hiking trails started to become more groomed, more popular. They're putting hiking trails in more different areas, more remote areas, so that people could actually get out and explore nature even more. So all of these things started to grow with the growth of the hiking. So we started to get an even bigger trail system. Walking clubs started to, form. They started to put huts along the trail so people could do more than just a day hike. They could, hike longer distances. They started creating guidebooks for hiking. So all of this started happening in the 19th century. Now, from what I understand, Mount Washington was actually where some of the earliest trails were built in efforts to basically be explicitly for pleasure and also for nature appreciation. So once again, it wasn't just a trail to get from this town to that town for trade. No, it was a trail just for exploring nature, just for hiking, just for enjoyment. And so some of the first ones were around Mount Washington. And then, of course, the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, that became a very popular trail. That was created. The idea, though, was actually conceived in the early 20th century. And with a lot of effort from volunteer help, that was completed in 1937. And there's many different agencies that actually manage the Appalachian Trail, if you want to say it that way. I've always called it the Appalachian Trail, so I don't need the emails or the messages correcting me on the pronunciation. I know, yes, some people do call it Appalachian Trail. Appalachian Trail. But anyhow, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. The Appalachian Trail became a goal of a lot of people. Can you make it the whole distance of the Appalachian Trail? Which basically went through the Appalachian Mountains, and it was a great idea. And since then, there's been some long trails, some good trails that have been created all over the country. Now, in 1968, there was actually U.S. law. This is how popular hiking became and creating trails. There was actually a U.S. law created, the National Trail System Act. It was passed under President Lyndon B. Johnson. This created a framework for preserving and completing scenic, historic, and recreation trails all across the country. So now, because it was so popular and people were making trails, they actually passed this act to start preserving the areas where these trails were being placed, and also for creating more trails out in the nation for people to get exercise, create a healthier nation, and to start building that connection with nature. Now, more recently, this boom kept growing. You kept getting more and more people involved, and the reason was it became more accessible. Yeah, hiking became more accessible. Shoe companies, sneaker companies, they started creating better shoes, lighter backpacks. better trail maps, started creating park systems. Conservation organizations started to be formed. There was basically a better infrastructure. So it became much easier for someone to get out hiking on the trails. I mean, between footwear, lighter backpacks, better trail system, better maintenance. If you were into organizations like the 80K, you can now hike with friends whenever you wanted to. You didn't have to go out alone if you're afraid to go hiking in the woods alone. So it just made it more accessible, and so more people started hiking. I mean, I remember many, many years ago, I used to hike and it just seemed like I had the trails to myself all the time. Now, no. I'm lucky if I'm out in the woods and I don't run into somebody. So it's, become so popular. And another reason it became popular was not just the accessibility, but it was also because, there was a cultural shift in the U.S. I mean, growing environmental awareness, more outdoor recreation as part of wellness and mental health. All of this awareness started to get more people outdoors. What are they going to do outdoors? Just stand there in the woods? Well, that's nice too, but most of them want to hike. They want to explore the woods. So that made it more popular too. Now, unfortunately though, with popularity, disrespect for the trails also comes along with that. I don't see a lot of it, but I do see it now and then. So if you are going out hiking, please respect the trails, respect the woods. Don't carve your name in the tree. I see that all the time along some trails. Make sure you contain your garbage. I always try to believe people are not just tossing their garbage out on the trail. I'm always trying to give the benefit of the doubt that it accidentally came out of their pocket. So what I'm going to say is secure your garbage when you're on the trail. Leave it as you found it, or better. If you find garbage on the trail, pick it up. So have more respect for the trails, and have respect for the people on the trails too. I hate, and I had this happen the other day, I hate it when I'm out hiking on a trail and I'm just enjoying listening to the birds and listening to nature, and here comes someone with their radio. I mean, I don't mind if someone's out there with earbuds in. I don't hear it. If they don't want to listen to nature, that's their decision. But when you're forcing me to miss out on listening to nature, that's an issue. Use your earbuds. If this lady had her phone in her back pocket and she's just cruising along the trail with it blasting, and she was even singing along with it, it's like, glad you're enjoying yourself. Don't do it on my trail. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox here, sorry. That's just one of my big pet peeves. So anyhow, get out and take a hike, enjoy nature. Now, I do want to get into briefly some hiking safety. Okay, whenever you're out hiking, and I know I usually do an entire episode on winter hiking safety each year and summer hiking safety. I might still do it, I don't know yet, but I do just want to briefly mention winter or summer. Safe hiking is essential. Always make sure you know the trail. I mentioned, because hiking has become so popular, there are apps out there with all the trails on there, or a lot of the trails I should say. There are maps you can get, topographic maps. You can always know where you're going. Okay, always let someone know where you're going. Before I left the house this morning, I made sure my wife knew exactly where I was going, what park I was going to be in. I wasn't sure exactly what trails, but I told her I'll either be on this trail or this trail. She knows most of the trails. She's been on them with me, so she knows approximately where I am. I have my phone with me, so she can always track me. I always make sure my phone is fully charged, so always make sure your phone is fully charged, all your batteries for all your equipment fully charged. take a flashlight with you, take a whistle with you. You may say, well, it's early morning, what do I need a flashlight for? What if something happens and you're stuck in the woods late at night because you got lost, you couldn't find your way out, and you're wandering and your phone's not working and you have to see in the dark, and well, you need a flashlight. So I always like to have a flashlight with me, fully charged batteries. Take a whistle. Okay, make sure your whistle is with you. I always have something that's brightly colored as a signal. Make sure you have water. I've got my backpack right now, and I wasn't even planning on a long hike, but I always make sure, even with a short hike, have some water, a snack. Usually a high protein snack is what I bring. I bring protein bars with me. Fresh water, enough for the day. You know, even if you only plan on being out a short while, make sure you got enough water for the day. Make sure that you have a first aid kit. I have a small first aid kit with me. I also know wilderness first aid, so I don't technically need a first aid kit because I could probably make anything I needed for an injury right here out of nature, but the first aid kit is good to have with you. So all of these things, make sure you have. Also, make sure you have proper footwear. If you are not real steady on your feet, or you're going on a trail that has some steep ravines, or steep inclines, I should say, make sure you have a hiking stick with you as well. Make sure that you have bug spray, sunscreen if you're going to be out in the sun a lot. All of these things are precautions that you should have. Check the weather before you go. Okay, in some areas like western New York here, the weather, you never know what it's going to do. Yeah, sometimes the weather seems like it's going to be sunny, and they say it's going to be sunny. It could change. You could get rain. We've had it happen before when we've been out hiking, my wife and I. Always be prepared. Take a rain jacket with you. If it's going to rain, make sure you have a rain jacket, or just postpone your trip. Make sure you time it correctly. I always give myself a little extra time. It's like today, I figured I was going to be out for about an hour in the woods on a hike, and I told my wife, plan on about an hour and a half. So I always give myself a little extra time, because you never know. Never know. And all of these things are preparing you for the trip, so be safe, please. I don't want anyone getting injured out there. Do what I unfortunately don't do often enough. Go with a hiking partner. Not only do you have some company with you, make sure it's the right hiking partner. You don't want someone who's talking the entire time and you can't listen to the forest and the birds. But make sure it's someone you enjoy hiking with. Take a hiking partner. It's always safest in numbers, especially if you're female. Yes, unfortunately, there's people out there who are, well, you understand. I'm not going to get into it, but there's some bad people out there. So always try to take a partner with you. Whether you do or not, always make sure someone knows where you are going. Have an itinerary before you leave, and let someone know that itinerary. Make sure your cell phone's charged again. You may be in an area where you're not getting reception, but at least make sure it's charged in case you do run into problems and there is reception. Now, last thing I want to talk about on National Take a Hike Day, I mentioned at the beginning, try to find a new trail. That's one of the purposes of National Take a Hike Day, not just to get out on the trail, but to explore the trails, explore nature, connect with nature. Maybe one of the ways is to find a new trail. How do you do that? My favorite way is, research, but researching on apps. There's several apps out there for hiking. I actually have a membership to All Trails. It's one of my favorite, and I think it is my favorite. All Trails is probably my favorite hiking app. I find a lot of new trails on it. Whenever I go on vacation, all over the world as a matter of fact, All Trails has trails on there. So use All Trails, find a new trail somewhere, someplace you haven't been before. Contact a hiking club. You know, they probably know all the trails in the area if you're looking for a new trail. Talk to friends, do a search on the internet. There's a lot of different places that you can find new trails at. Get to know the trail first though, and if it is a new trail, I always recommend take someone with you, okay, or find someone who has done that trail before and go with them. It's fun to explore a new trail, but it's not fun to get lost on a new trail. So make sure you study the map well. Make sure you have the map with you. That's the nice thing about All Trails. And one really good thing about having the membership, and this is why I got the membership to All Trails. I'm not promoting them. I'll let you know that right now. I don't get any money if you join, but I just want to let you know that there are advantages to having the membership to All Trails. And the main reason that I joined is because I can download the maps. That way, and I think it was when I went to, I think it was either Puerto Rico, no, it wasn't Puerto Rico, Belize. Yeah, when I went to Belize, I didn't know what the reception was going to be like there. And so I made sure that I had the maps downloaded for where I wanted to hike so that I didn't have to worry about losing reception while I'm out on the trail. And it's like, oh no, it's not tracking me. Now instead, I had the map right on the phone no matter what because I was able to download it. That was the main reason that I did the membership, but you can do without if you think you're going to have good reception all the time and you don't care about downloading the maps. You're not getting anything really extra other than that. I don't know, you'd have to check it out, but anyhow, like I said, I'm not promoting it as a way for me to make money. I don't make any money promoting it. It's just my favorite app. There are other apps out there too for hiking, which you can always check out. There's one that my brother told me about that I really like. One of the reasons that I like the Hiking Project, it's called. Okay, Hiking Project, there's an app for it. Hiking Project is basically people like you and I. We found a trail, we enjoy hiking it, we log it as we're hiking it, and then we basically put it on the app. So it's introduced by people. It's rated by everyone too. So the Hiking Project is another one. If you are going on, if you're going to a national park, the National Park Service has its own app, and it will have the trails on there as well, although you'll find a lot of those on All Trails. So those are my favorite go-tos for finding new trails and exploring the trails and making sure I don't get lost on the trails. I like the online maps. Although I do orienteering, so I do have some orienteering maps as well. And I use some of those because they're topographic maps. Some of the other apps you might want, some of the other things. I did an episode on nature apps, so you may want to listen to that. But some of the other things I enjoy while I'm exploring nature, okay, I have the Seek app on my phone, which allows me to explore what the plants and some of the animals I don't know yet, what they are on my phone as well. Oh, there is another one too, if you want to do like Rails to Trails, TrailLink. TrailLink will tell you the different rails to trails that are out there. So maybe you want to participate in National Take a Hike Day, you want to go out hiking, but you're maybe not really a physically active person and you want to start out slow, which I always recommend if you aren't a very, physically active person, start out slow. Do a rails to trails. I mean, it's an old railroad, nice and level, easy turns, usually easy walking, depending on the rails to trail. I have one that I have right in my neighborhood. It's a local one, and it's a really nice one. One section is all, nice packed down gravel. It's nice and level. And then you get beyond this one section into the other section of the trail. And it's still a nice trail, but unfortunately, they haven't groomed it. They haven't put any stone on it. So it's clear, but it's an old railroad bed. So you have a lot of the big rocks and so it's a little bit rougher to walk on. If you're biking it, which we're talking about hiking here, but if you are biking it, it's a rough area. So, but a lot of them are good. So check that out if you want to do something easier. Don't forget the safety, and don't forget a partner. Yeah, bring some friends along. Enjoy National Trails Day together. I hope you enjoyed learning about National Trails Day. I hope you will celebrate it this Sunday by getting out on the trail and hiking along the trail. Find a new trail. That's what I'm planning on doing this Sunday for National Take a Hike Day. But get out there and enjoy. Thank you again for joining me today. If you'd like to support the podcast, go to the show notes for all the links to the different ways that you can support me, either by purchasing merchandise or just making a general donation on my Ko-Fi page. I hope you enjoyed listening, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for the next episode of The Nature Wanderer.
Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings.